Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Hare Krishna Project podcast. This is episode number 186. Yes, we have made it to our 186th episode, which means we are just 14 episodes away from our 200th episode. No one is more as excited as I am about getting to that mark. Okay, do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you can be kept updated about future podcasts and video productions from the Hare Krishna Project. Or if you're watching this on Facebook and you haven't already, please do like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page. That's the other way you can watch these podcasts, and also you can follow the other things we do here at the Hare Krishna Project, such as school visits, Hare Krishna festivals, book distribution, and all those wonderful things that keep me out of trouble. Okay, episode 186. One of the things I love about producing this podcast is I get to virtually travel all over the world to meet some fascinating people. And it's for the first time in a while we are returning to the continent of Africa. I went to Africa once, actually, about 20 years ago, but I'll save that story for later. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome our guest this week. It's Krishnabhamini Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's great to have you with us. I really appreciate you coming on as a guest, and I'm looking forward to hearing your story. Okay, so the first question is the first question that everyone gets, just to warm them up a little bit if they need warming up. Please tell us a little bit about you and where you are from.
Okay, my name is Krishnabhamini Devidasi. I'm from Nigeria, River State. My Guru Maharaj is His Holiness Kavichandra Swami Maharaj. I think that's all about me, except there's you want to know more, but this is all I can say.
I love this. One of the reasons I love about this question is because people, when you ask someone about themselves, there's two types of devotees, okay? There's those that give me a whole answer that takes us a whole hour. And there's those that are very kind of humble and very modest and say, well, this is who I am, and very kind of basic in that sense. So you're in Nigeria. So I went to Kenya about 20 years ago, which isn't Nigeria. And I went to visit a friend of mine who was a Christian missionary at the time. Tell us a bit about living in Nigeria, because a lot of our audience won't be in Nigeria. So tell us a bit about what is it like living in Nigeria?
Okay, what is it like living in Nigeria? I would say it's great, although what people see might not be exactly how it is here. You know, most people think Nigeria is a place where you can't come to. It's a place where a lot of things are going on, but outside the things that they think go on, Nigeria is a great place. It's a great country, and I believe you should visit soon. It's an amazing place.
Mm. Is it always very hot?
No, no, it depends. It depends. Um, During December, November, December, we get into like we call it here the dry season, the Harmattan season. So during June, July, August, September, it's always cold because it's raining here. So I think during January, February, March, and April, it's usually hot. So it's just the weather changes. It's not always hot the whole year. That's what people think, but that's not how it is.
Mm. We actually have quite a lot of Nigerians living here in the UK, particularly in the London area. I don't know a lot, but I know some Nigerian people in London, and they're all very astute business people. The ones that I know, they're very serious with running their business and being professional. Um, Krishna, Bhamini, you told me before we started recording today that you were born and raised in the Hare Krishna movement. We were joking before about who's been a part of the movement longer. What was it like being raised in a Hare Krishna family? Tell us a bit about that.
Well, it's been amazing. I'll start with that. It's been very amazing because it shaped me into being a better human. Of course, there are different humans, there are better people, but I am I am being shaped to be part of the better humans. Being born in an Hare Krishna family, it's different. I have different morning routines. In fact, my whole day is different. The routine is different than the normal people. Of course, most Christians have their morning devotions and all of that, but being born in an ISKCON family, I have to wake up in the morning. I have to do the deity worship. I have to offer boga. I have to do a lot of things that are spiritual. Like my whole day is like having spiritual things going on. I am either doing Tosi Puja, I'm either doing this, I'm either doing that. And also being born in a Hare Krishna family, it made me think and see the world differently. Not in a bad way, but knowing that whatever I do, if be it good or bad, there's always something coming up in front. Like it made me think differently. It made me to understand that there is more, there is more to life than we see. There is more to life than we see. Like you need a lot of realization to be able to understand life. So being born in an Christian family is very wonderful. It's been an amazing experience. Yeah.
Amazing. And did you go to like a regular school?
Yeah, I did.
And what was that like for you as someone you kind of raised in a devotee family and you were going to school with people from other religions? What was that like?
It wasn't difficult. Yes, if I'll be honest, it wasn't difficult because first of all, I went to boarding schools, Catholic boarding schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't difficult for me to be able to adapt, and also people get used to me too. I didn't face much discrimination because from the way I act, from the way devotees are supposed to be humble, they're meant to be humble, kind, meek. So I actually exhibited all that. So I didn't have issues. It's just my meals have to be cooked separately because I'm vegetarian. So it wasn't difficult for me to associate with people. I didn't face any discrimination from anybody, not even teachers, fellow students, nobody.
Mm, mm. No, but tell us a bit about your. I've got lots of questions that have come in my head. Tell us a bit about your parents then. So they joined the movement much in the 90s or the 80s or something?
Okay, so my dad first saw devotees in the year 1984, 1984, 1985. He saw them when they came to the community where he lived with his parents then for Harinam. So he was young and they gave him this, I think, Enchanting Hare Krishna pamphlet and some envelope containing chalk incense. That's what he called it, chalk incense. And he didn't know what to do with it. He was younger. He was just about 10, 11 years old then. So when his dad came back from work, he gave it to his dad and it's like, these people came and this is what they gave us. So the father could not read the Maha Mantra on the book. So he said, Here Krishna, here Krishna. So he wasn't able to read it, pronounce it the way we pronounce Hare Krishna. So the father was a Muslim before he passed, and he knew what to do with the incense. So he's like, okay, let's just keep it. So fast forward to 1990, my dad was working, and these same devotees came around where he was working for Harinam. I think he said he stopped by or something. I don't know. I can't really remember. But now to 1991, his parents were going back to the community because they couldn't like really afford to stay in the township anymore. So he said he didn't want to go back. He wanted to work. So he went to stay with his uncle and something happened with the person he was staying with. There were two. So the other person had like issues and the other one had to he was a devotee, but my dad wasn't aware that he was with these people that he has been seeing over the years. So he chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra and he got well. So my dad said, I want to join you. I want to see this place you're going to, this temple you're going to. So he said, okay. He took him to the temple on a Sunday, Jamestown Sunday, and lo and behold, he saw these people he has been seeing over the years. So from there, time and time, he has been going, and till today, he liked the movement because he was also in search of spiritual light. He liked spirituality, so he made a lot of research to know which religion would teach him the realization of God, and he happened to find himself in ISKCON. So he has been there. He has been in ISKCON till this day, where he met my mom along the line and they got married. He brought her into the movement and started having us.
Wow, that's a wonderful story. I actually, you sound like a professional storyteller. And I feel like I was kind of just relaxing then into this wonderful story about a man that joined the Hare Krishna movement and met his wife. And yeah, it was wonderful. So your dad was raised Muslim, was he?
Yeah, more like his dad was Muslim, his mom was Christian.
Ah,
So if you ask him most times, he say it's Christian background because he was going to church at the time. He
mm,
didn't join. I don't think he did.
mm. And do you live in a community in River State where there's quite a lot of Hare Krishna devotees?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I do. Not as much as Christians, but they are devotees. Yes.
Great, great. Okay. Could you please tell us a bit about Krishna consciousness in Nigeria? Maybe tell us a bit about the temples that there are there and which ones you might be involved with.
Okay, so first of all, I would say Hare Krishna in Nigeria has not been easy because we live in a world where Christians, where it has already been dominated by Christians. So practicing something that they've never seen before, it's a bit weird to do Harinam and all of that. They don't really like it. Some people want to listen, but the others want to just castigate. And funny thing is, the constitution in Nigeria has this freedom of rights to practice any religion that you want to.
Mm,
But the human sense and that of the constitution do not work the same. Christians believe that if it's not what they believe in, then you're doing absolute nonsense. So it's not been easy, but over the years, we've spread temples all over the state. We have 36 states, and out of 36 states, we have temples in I think 11 states, 11 places rather, because in one state you can have like two temples or three. So we have 10 temples and one preaching center. And I am involved with the one in River State, ISKCON Nadagam Chandra rather.
wow, that sounds amazing. I've certainly heard before about I was going to use the word persecution, but maybe that's a strong word, but the kind of the difficulties that the Hare Krishna community faces in Nigeria from Christians. I have heard that before. So I mean, do you get a lot of problems from Christian groups, Because whenever I think of places like Nigeria and other African countries, I think of these big kind of black Pentecostal Christian churches, where they're very fundamental, they're very evangelical, and everyone else is wrong and they're right. That's the kind of image that I get. Is that the type of Christianity that exists in Nigeria?
Yes, yes. I wouldn't say yes 100%, but before you find someone that is willing to listen and understand that you both are speaking the same language, we are talking about the same God, it's difficult. You first of all meet people that will want to criticize you before you get to the right person. So personally, I don't really like to talk so much unless I am seeing that you are wanting to inquire, you're wanting to understand what I'm doing, then I'll be open to any questions. So sometimes when anybody comes to ask me anything, if I read the mood you come with, and I'm saying that you just want to ask so you can either castigate or say something that would offend me, I would either tell you to go look it up. If you're still interested in wanting to understand more, then you can ask me. So I've not faced so much because I don't give room to anybody to say anything that would offend me or offend the religion that I am in.
Yeah. Yeah. Krishna Bahimi, I'm actually exactly the same as you, in the sense that I generally don't like to get into arguments or debates with people from other religious groups. I just can't be bothered. I actually don't see there's any need for that. And I remember once, about a year ago, I was organizing kind of a Krishna Consciousness afternoon event with chanting and kirtan and prasadam. And we'd hired this town hall, me and some other devotees from the Hare Krishna project, to have this event. And before the booking, there was actually it was a black Christian Pentecostal group were in there, and they were a bit late packing up, so we were waiting outside, and they came out, and I was trying to kind of not make eye contact, but not to be rude at the same time. I just wanted to go in. And then this guy came up to me and he said, "What are you doing?" And I kind of said, he says, "Oh, do you follow Jesus? Do you believe in Jesus?" And I just thought, I want to get into the hall. I don't want to have a conversation about Jesus right now. And I actually felt a bit intimidated by him. Because if I start to say, "Oh, I'm following some Hare Krishna thing," that opens up a whole, and I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. So,
Yeah, they are like that sometimes. Sometimes they ask me, "Do you believe Jesus Christ is the only way?" I say, "Yes, I do." I say, "Yes, I do." They say, "So why are you doing this?" I say, "What's the difference? Who even told you Jesus Christ is Christian in the first place?" So sometimes when they even come to me, I, I literally talk to them with their own scripture, not even ours, because I feel ours is very expensive to give out to people that will not understand. So sometimes when they come, I just tell them, "Yes, I believe in Jesus Christ. I know He's the truth, the way, and the life, and all of that. I do." And they just get tired and they walk away because they feel like they can't talk to me if I'm saying this to them. So they're like that. They take every opportunity they see to want to criticize you. So yeah. So I just don't give them the room to do that.
mm, mm, mm. Fantastic. That's great. Okay. Can you tell us a bit about your preaching work, and some of the savor projects that you've been involved with over the years?
Okay, so well, I think I would still say I preach, but that's like once in a while when I find somebody or when I see someone that's interested. But I wouldn't say I like go on preaching work, maybe like go on the streets and do that. I know I wouldn't say I do that. It's just once in a while when I find somebody or when someone approached me to ask questions. Then for Seva, before I left my dad's place, I usually do the deity worship. I was like the pujari. We had previous pujaris, but when they left, I took over, my brothers and I. It was just me at first before my brothers joined. Then when I get to the temple where I stay, if I find myself in the kitchen, I work in the kitchen. If I find myself sweeping, I sweep. If I find myself doing anything, if I find myself doing kirtan too, because I'm also involved with kirtan mela. So if I find myself doing kirtan, all of it is seva. If I don't find myself doing anything, I chant Hare Krishna, I just do japa. So that's all.
I really like that. I like your attitude of just kind of you get stuck in and you
Yeah,
just kind of do it. And I get the impression that you're not a complainer. You don't really complain, do you? Life's far too short, and you'd rather
exactly.
just get on with serving the Lord. And
Yeah,
everything can be service. It's about our attitude, isn't it? Uh,
yeah,
and our level of consciousness. Um, yeah. So tell us, you've mentioned a few times that you do kind of pujari service, and you're a pujari.
yeah.
Tell us a bit about that. You have deities at home.
Yeah, we do. Installed deities, Radha Shamashundra, we have Gauranitai, we have Jagannath Balaji Subhadra, all in deity form, not pictures.
Wow. So you've actually got a temple in your own home.
Yes, it's basically a temple actually, because like a little hall, a little room rather, that can contain like close to 10, 20 persons. And then we got the altar there. We usually have we host home programs sometimes for devotees. Yeah.
It's amazing. I was about to ask, do you invite people around? So
Yeah, we do.
I would love to visit actually. I'm just getting this picture of Nigeria being a hot, beautiful country most of the time.
Yes, it
And
is.
yeah, do you know what, Krishnabhamini, I need to do a world tour of all the guests that I've interviewed over 4.5 years. As we've established, you're at least the second guest from Nigeria. Uh, so I need to come to Nigeria at some point.
You should.
I can come to one of the home programs in your home. Um, okay. One of the things I might embarrass you a bit now, but one of the reasons that I asked you to be a guest on this podcast is I was very impressed with your social media activities. I know you're very humble, but your social media activities are very good. And I particularly liked your presentation of Krishna consciousness. You know, I have a really short attention span and I'm flicking through and looking at things, but I stopped at your profile because I was quite impressed by how you were presenting Bhakti Yoga to the public. You're a busy woman. I get the impression you're a busy woman. You've told me you're a busy woman. And you're starting out in the world of fashion. Fashion.
Yeah.
Something I know nothing about, by the way. Can you tell us a bit about your enthusiasm for fashion design? Um, and how do you manage, if at all, you can be honest and say you don't, how do you manage to maintain that kind of material life, spiritual life balance?
Okay, so I I love the idea of creating things, the idea of making things out of my own hands. I There's this excitement I get when I see somebody having what I have made, yeah, from creating things. It just comes to my head and I put it down. And if I have the fabric to create it, I do. If I do not, I keep it until when I have the fabric to create it. So fashion is to me, it's like therapy because I feel very calm after I finish making whatever I have in my head. So after making these things, when I look at them, I'm like, wow, I made this and I'm impressed. So yeah, that's why I'm very enthusiastic about fashion. Then how do I balance my material and spiritual life? I wouldn't say I have much material life because I do not really associate much with people. I prefer to stay indoors unless I have something to do outside. And whatever I do, be it fashion, be it writing, whatever I do, I don't let it affect my spiritual life. When it's time for me to do what I want to do, I do it. If it's time for my japa, I get it done. If it's time for this, I get it done. So I start my japa by 5 in the morning and I end by 7. Even if I am not done, I make sure that I stop when I'm supposed to stop and do whatever I have to do at that time. Balance. They're not clashing. They are very separate, and I am able to balance the both.
Hmm. Hmm. You sound very disciplined and very organized, which is a very, I think, a very important quality to have. So, Krishna Bhamini, I mentioned before that I really like watching your Krishna conscious related videos on social media. I think they're fantastic, and I love the way how you have just kind of presented Bhakti Yoga in a really easy way to understand. Can you please tell us a bit about what inspires you to produce these videos?
Yes, I would say I was bored at first because, waking up to cutting fabrics, writing, sketching, I got bored of doing the regular things. So I just wanted to like put myself to the test. Like I said, I didn't like showing up on cameras. I didn't like it. If you put cameras to my face, I would just get pissed inside of me. I don't like it. So I said, okay, fine. Since I do not like cameras, it's better I just face this challenge of starting up a vlog, something that will put me up, that will keep me busy, that will give me some kind of responsibility and say, okay, people are waiting for my videos, so let me just quickly do things. And then I thought, okay, since I'm going to be making videos, vlogging, I need to do something different from the regular people, the regular creators, the content creators, people that vlog and blog every day. So I said, I need something that when people see, they will be more interested in engaging in my post. So I had to brainstorm and do a lot of things. And I was like, and then boom, it came to me like devotional content. It's a very good opportunity to show the world what you do and Krishna consciousness and everything. So I decided to start making devotional vlogs because it's quite unique. It is. If you have your phone scrolling through the internet, except your FYP is filled with devotees only. But if you just wake up one day and then you're just scrolling through your phone and you see something that is just out of the ordinary, someone talking about Krishna all the way in India, and the person is in Nigeria and talking about Krishna, you'll be very interested in watching this person's video. So I got the whole inspiration from let me just do something unique. Let me just do something different, something that people would engage in. And so far, so good. It's been well. I've had people messaging me privately and asking me about Krishna consciousness and how to join and all of those things. So yeah, that's why I started. I just wanted to do something unique and I was bored. I wanted to do something different. So yeah, that's why.
I liked your honesty when you said that you were bored, and that's why you did the videos. It's really good actually. What I'm gonna do is when this podcast is broadcast, I'm gonna put a link to your Facebook page if that's okay, or maybe
Okay.
a link to the videos, so people can see to see what you're producing, which is
Okay.
great. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Krishnabhamini. One of the things I'm always keen to try and understand from guests. I'm going to try and come back into the room actually, because it's a much better quality now. If I disappear, it's because something's happened. It's like a magic trick, isn't it? It just
So
disappears. I'm always keen to know from guests. So you're in your mid to early 20s, and you have made the decision, despite growing up in the movement, you've made your decision to carry on following Krishna consciousness. So must be something about it that you quite like, which helps. Um, how can we, in your opinion, how can we attract more people to the path of Krishna consciousness?
hey, that's a very tricky question. Okay, so I'm going to speak personally, not generally. Okay, first of all, I think to attract people to Krishna consciousness, we need to do more outreach. Like the world is evolving, so we need to evolve to, like I said, when I started making my videos and posting it, I got people to come into my I got people coming into my DMs to ask questions and wanting to join. So we need to do more preaching, more book distribution, especially online preaching because the world is being ruled by internet now. So We have to do like online preaching, going for Harinams and all of that. Then secondly, we should be what we preach. I mean,
We seem to have lost Krishnabhamini at the moment. I think there's unfortunately a connection problem. So we're going to see if she returns. But it was great to listen to some of her ideas then about how we can attract more people to Krishna consciousness. I particularly loved it when she said we need to be what we preach. That's a really interesting one and something that we can all learn from. Yeah, it's been great to find out about Krishna Bhamini. I've never heard anyone else actually called that. It's a fascinating name, Krishna Bhamini. But it's been great to hear about her story, being born and raised as a figure of speech, of course, born and raised in Nigeria, and more about her kind of upbringing. And okay, she's coming back into the room now.
sorry,
Hey,
I think my
don't,
network cut us off.
don't worry about it. You're back now. They're back now. Don't worry about it. I really loved it. We were listening to some of your ideas about how we can attract more people to Krishna consciousness. I particularly loved it when you said we should be what we preach. I thought that
Yeah.
was wonderful. Could you kind of elaborate on that in terms of what you mean by that?
Okay. I don't know if you got the part where I talked about the weight someone selling a weight gain product to you, and so you're just walking on the road randomly, you're just going about your business, and then someone stops you and starts to tell you about a product, try to sell you a product that will make you gain weight. And the person just finished saying what saying, oh, you're going to gain so much weight in 2 weeks, in 7 days. And you're just looking at this person and you're like, but you don't even have any weight on. So how do I buy this product? Of course, the person might not want to gain weight. The person is just a salesperson, but that's not the right salesperson for that product. You need to look like what you're selling. So now coming back to Krishna consciousness, what we want to sell is Krishna consciousness. So first of all, our appearance, then before we talk about personality. So we have to look Krishna conscious. We have to look neat when we are approaching someone that is not a devotee. You can't be talking to me as a kami and you're a devotee and you're like, your kota is very rumpled, your dhoti is rumpled, your hair is not properly brushed, you're not looking okay, your footwear is looking retarded, you're looking very scattered. And then I tell you, okay, I don't want this pamphlet you're giving to me. And then the next thing is you just get angry and you start shouting and calling me names. So if your personality is not even good, like you claim Krishna consciousness devotees are, why should I join your movement? So if we are what we preach, devotees are humble, devotees practice ahimsa, which is non-violence. Devotees are supposed to appear neat at all times because our religion is all about neatness. When you wake up in the morning, you shower before going down for Mangala Arati. When you finish using the toilet or the bathroom, you wash your hand or you shower. So it's all about neatness. You have to put on new clothes every day to avoid smelling and all of those things. So if we are not what we preach, there's no way people will be attracted to come to our movement. So I don't know if you get what I mean. There's no way people will be attracted if we are not looking like what we are trying to sell out. That's why I use the example of a salesperson trying to sell a product that he doesn't even look like. So yeah, I think that's my personal idea of trying to attract people to Krishna.
Mm. And you also mentioned about how we behave, not just what we look like, but also how we behave.
Yeah.
Which I was also quite interested. Well, I mean I agree with you, but I was quite fascinated by that. Do you want to elaborate on that a bit and say a bit more about it?
Um, like I said, when let's say I'm not a devotee and you come to give me books, maybe
Yeah.
Harinam, and you're trying to like preach to me about Krishna consciousness, and maybe being a kami, I will get angry and I'm like, I'm not interested, please take your book away. And then you get angry and then start calling me all sorts of names. Devotees are not supposed to do that. Like I said, your behavior should should be an example, should be very exemplary for people. Maybe when people see you, they'll be like, oh, I like this person. He's so humble. He's so meek. He doesn't fight with anybody. I do not fight. I stayed in school for 4 years and I didn't fight with anybody. I just let you go with your problems. I just let you go. So if I tell someone today that I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Muslim, this is my religion, the person will be like, wow, and it's very nice. That's why you're this humble. That's why you're this calm. That's why you're very kind to people. That's why you don't like to fight. So if our personality or our behavior doesn't show what we're trying to preach, I don't think anybody's going to be attracted to being a devotee of Krishna.
Mm. Fantastic. I was about finally a guest I agree with everything on. I do agree with other guests as well. But I'm also very encouraged by your enthusiasm for sharing. It's a very thorough answer you've given how we can attract people to Krishna consciousness. You've given some ideas about internet preaching and Harinams, but you've gone a lot deeper and talked about how we behave, which is, I think, so important. I mean, a word I've thought of is sattvic. We should be, sattvic in our appearance and in our dealings,
Yeah,
in the mode of goodness,
yeah, yeah,
um, and being humble and sincere and respectful, treating all people, all living beings with respect. Um, Unfortunately, and you've probably met them as well, there are devotees that seem to have a chip on their shoulder, and they think that, oh yeah, we've got, we're following the correct religion. I mean, that's not a good use. We're the best, and because you're not chanting Hare Krishna, you're going to go to hell. I mean, I have met people like that, fanatical. But actually, what we're taught in the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna exists in the hearts of all,
yeah.
and Krishna envies no one. Tells us that, and Krishna, he treats everyone equally. Christians would call it the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit exists in all. We would call it Paramatma. Krishna exists in all. Whether they're chanting Hare Krishna or not, we show them respect because God, Krishna exists in them, is in them. Um, Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, okay. I feel like you and I could kind of talk all day about Krishna consciousness in Nigeria. Is there like a website or a Facebook page where if people want to find out more about Krishna consciousness in Nigeria, how would they do that?
Okay, so I wouldn't say it's like a general website. I haven't come across any. If there's any, I do not know. But as for for each yatra, I think they have like a page for each temple. Maybe you can go on Facebook and you type ISKCON Nandagram Chandra, which is where I go to worship in River State here. You'll find our deities are there, Kirtan Melas and all of those things are there. Then also preaching sections. Then if you want to also know about the Benin Temple, the Warri Temple, the Lagos Temple, just type Lagos, ISKCON Lagos Temple or ISKCON Radhesham Temple. I think,
Mm.
yeah, it is Radhesham Shundra. So any temple you want to know about, anything you want to know about, like I have told you, you can go and check ISKCON Nandagram Chandra on Facebook. You find our page there. You get to see our deities. You get to see our Harinams. You get to see our Kirtan Melas, our Kirtan. You get to see our preachings also. So yeah, there is each temple. Each temple, I think they have their own Facebook page. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. And you might have touched on this already, but just remind us a bit about your local temple. I mean, the temple that's closest to you in River State. Is
Yeah.
it quite big? Do lots of people go there?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it's big. And when I was younger, I used to see lots of people, but growing up, people would want to travel, people would want to like leave a particular state they're in. So most people have traveled out of the country to other temples outside. Some have gone to different states, but we still have more members coming. So there are lots of people coming every Sunday.
Hmm. And on an average Sunday, what would the attendance number be like?
Mm, I would say a total number of like 30 persons, excluding children.
Yeah. And how many people would that be? 100, 200 people, 50 people, 1,000?
30, 1,000,
30
that's
people. Sorry, 30. I thought you said 30%. Sorry, I misunderstood what you said. 30 people. Yeah.
yeah.
And because I got to be honest, I know almost nothing about the devotee community in Nigeria, so I'm really interested in all of this. And is the community predominantly black? Or do you have some Indians there as well, or there's some people that look like me, white people, Caucasian people?
Yeah, we have Indians. They attend Sunday programs, or most times they come for Jamastami, Shivaratri, um, Radhastami. Yeah, they come for programs, they do. But not every Sunday. So
Hmm.
come when there's like a very big program going on, a very big festival. Yeah.
So I have to watch what I say now. They're local Indians who are maybe Hindus, and they come along to the ISKCON temple because it's a nice cultural thing to do, would
Yeah,
you say?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
But 30 persons I mentioned, the Indians are not part. It's
Ah,
just,
okay.
yeah, the Indians are not part. So if the Indians should come and join, it's more than that. I can't say how much, how many.
Mm, mm. That's really interesting. It's very similar. It's not the same, but it's similar in the UK. In quite a actually, I'd say most of the ISKCON temples, there is a large Indian community. I'd like to say most. It's probably all, with the exception of one. Uh, okay, okay. It's been wonderful talking with you today. We've been recording for almost an hour already. That's gone
Wow,
remarkably quick. I know. It's been great to chat with you, Krishnabhamini Devi Dasi.
thank you.
Uh, when you left the Zoom room very briefly, I said to everyone at home, I've never heard this name before. It's quite a wonderful name. I think you mentioned earlier before we started recording that there's that your Guru Maharaj has a god sister that also has this name. I think you said that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a wonderful name.
A lot of
Okay,
Srila Prabhupada.
yeah, amazing, amazing. Okay, Krishna Bhamini. I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone at home, and then if you just stay in the Zoom room, stay on the line. It's like a chat show, isn't it? Or a game show. Stay on the line
Okay.
and we'll chat after. So a big thank you to Krishna
Okay.
Bhamini Devi Dasi for being our 186th guest. Wow. I'm sorry, Krishna Bhamini, it took 186 episodes to get to you. Um, so I really appreciate you giving up your time. And hopefully it won't be too long before I return to the continent of Africa. uh, not just on this Zoom, not just via the podcast, but also in real life as well. Okay, so a big thank you to Krishna Bahimi Devi Dasi for being our guest this week. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you can be kept updated about future podcasts and video productions from the Hare Krishna Project. And or if you're watching this on Facebook and you haven't already, please like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page. And I know you all listen to the end of these podcasts because when I say that, the number of subscribers, likers, and followers does go up. So thank you. And as always, if you have any feedback after this podcast or any of our other podcasts or productions, get in touch. We would always love to hear from you. Okay, so until next week, I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Hare Krishna.